Good morning. Some people have been asking us how we milk a cow by a surge machine. So this morning we're going to show you how we milk Prancer. First, we dip each teat with an iodine teat dip. Then we put the surcingle over her back. And you'll hear a lot of different ways of how you're supposed to use the surcingle, but basically you need to place it wherever it works so that it fits, so that the milking machine fits properly on her udder. So for us, you can see we've hooked it actually behind her hip. Normally you'll see it well forward from the hip, but Prancer has a nice youthful udder, and so we need to just adjust the surcingle so that it fits proper. So we've let the teat dip stay on for about 30 seconds, and that helps kill any bacteria that are on there. Now Jay is individually cleaning each teat with a different spot on the wipe. That way that you try to avoid cross-contamination. You also want to individually clean each teat end because that is where dirt can collect. And when we put the milking machine on, the teat end is going to open up. So if her teat end's really dirty, it could actually suck bacteria up into her teat canal, and that could cause mastitis. So you want to make sure the cow's teats are really clean. We've turned on our surge pumps that we keep in our basement. And you can listen to the pulsator. It's a nice steady pulse, not too fast. We want the cow to be comfortable. So we want the pulsator to go a pleasant speed. If it goes too fast, then it'll stress the teat ends and damage them. And it can also make the cow uncomfortable, so she may hold up her milk. Prancer's a good girl, so she likes to just stand here. A lot of times she's chewing her cud. She's a real sweetheart. She calved last October, and she's been really good ever since she calved. She's not a steppy cow or anything like that, so that's been helpful. She also kind of likes to stand back to give the milking machine room. Sometimes, if cows are a little kicky, the surge bucket is kind of helpful because if a cow lifts her leg, she'll hit the bucket instead of hitting the inflations. On the claw-style milker, a lot of times they hit the inflations directly, or they hit the little claw, and so it's easier to fall off. Whereas with the surcingle and everything, the machine stays on pretty well. Jay's over getting the calf buckets ready, and we'll put Prancer's milk into there to feed her calf and another calf on the farm. There are different ways to milk your cows in a lineup. So we milk Prancer first. She's young and healthy. And a lot of times it's good to milk your healthiest cows first and kind of work your way down. That way, if you have a cow that has any udder problems, you can always milk her last, and that way she's not possibly spreading anything to the other cows. Thankfully, we don't have to worry about any of that, so we just go in the order that works for us. Another thing that we don't do, we don't feed our cows while we milk them anymore. What we found is that, well, one, we didn't want to feed much grain, and so we would feed just a little bit of grain and the cow would get done with it almost immediately, and then she'd start to fuss because she wanted more grain. I always say grain makes cows evil. Same thing with sheep. And so what we started doing is we started just letting them stand for milking. And they do so much better. They know it's milking time, and they also know they get a treat after they're done milking. And so it's kind of an incentive for them to behave and just stand still and be good girls. And there's no distraction from any type of food. When Prancer's done, we'll walk her over to a little hitching post that we put up, and we have red tubs with a little teeny bit of grain and some alfalfa flakes. And we also put a scoop of yeast on it, at least for the first few months in their lactation. And depending on if we're using like a homemade grain that is powdery, we'll add maybe some apple cider vinegar and some molasses water just to help make it a little more palatable. Now she's getting close to being done, so Jay's going to come in, and if you don't know your cow very well, you may have to come in and just massage the quarters a little bit. But we know Prancer pretty well, and she milks out really good. So really on her, you don't have to massage anything out if you don't want to. We like to, because you always kind of like to feel each quarter, make sure there's nothing hard, make sure there's nothing going on. You want to be careful, especially in fresh cows. Right up here, you can massage this area, but you need to be really careful because a lot of times it makes them pee. So if you can, work from the bottom up and just slowly massage each quarter, and it'll start to milk out. Look at all those wrinkles. I believe Jay calls it a wrung out dishcloth. Do you have anything else you want to say?
I just think you can see how well she's collapsing down. This quarter's finished.
So she's just about done. We'll come around and we'll peek at the front. And they look great. So now Jay's going to take the machine off very carefully. So we'll turn the vacuum off. Just to get that out of the way. We release the suction and all the other teacups come off. You want to make sure and unplug the hose first, because if you leave pressure on the pump, we've been told that it can damage the pump. So you want to be sure to release that first and then release the pressure from the machine. You always want to come in here and post-dip each teat. The teat opening can stay open for up to 30 minutes. The teat dip protects the teats in that time. And then we take the surcingle off. And we'll walk the cow over by Rosebud, and we'll let her have her snack. And her milk is going to go to feed calves today, so we're not bottling anything from her. And her mother Rose is up next, waiting in line patiently. Thank you. Hope this has helped.